Hey, what's keeping you up so late? Got something on your mind? Let's talk about it. My name is Koffee Dark N Sweet, and you are now tuned in to the Midnight Coffee Podcast. Here, have a sip. What up, though? You are now listening to the Midnight Coffee Podcast. I am your humble host, Koffee Dark N Sweet. This is your destination for organic conversation that grounds us all to our common sources as we ascend into our higher purposes together. I'm here at SHAHCAST Network Studios with a couple of very lovely people, fellow Detroitians in the building. I have Azizi Jasper.
Yeah. What up, though?
Pro. I'm sorry, I'm hot. Profound and professional poet and event host, and know a few other things that I cannot remember right now.
Well, I appreciate that. That's more than enough. So thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about yourself.
Let me see. Tell you about myself. I was born in Flint. Parents broke up they divorced when I was around 9. Mom ended up moving to Grand Rapids, so I spent I spent the school year in Grand Rapids. I spent the summers in Flint, and I was always close to Detroit. My dad would always bring me to the auto show and these different things, man. And just in my travels here, fell in love with the city. And I don't know. Detroit just has such a charm. Like Detroit and New Orleans, to me, like they're like sister cities. You know what I'm saying? As far as like the energy and all that's concerned, man. So glad to be a Detroiter now. I've been here for about 10 years or so. As you said, I host a couple of events. Art in the Fly Space, my Tuesday night at Detroit Shipping Company, 474 Peterborough, for whomever may be listening that's local. And yeah, I have a book out, COINTEL Pros. I feature, and yeah, I'm
Out here getting it.
out here doing my best for sure.
Yeah, and we also have joining us for the conversation, Miss Ashleigh Jones. Please introduce yourself.
I'm chilling, y'all. Here for the ride.
I love
Let's
it.
get into it. So, I asked you here because I enjoy your work. I enjoy, conversating with you. I think you have very interesting perspectives. And one of the biggest things that has come up lately in art culture is Blackness and how we quantify it, how we write about it, how we perform it. Is it performative? These kind of things. And Black art and culture has a very extensive and thorough history, throughout the world, and a profound impact on like all art and culture throughout the world. What are some, artists that you have been impressed upon, that have impressed upon you?
Like like artists that are like living, or just like artists that
any
are,
artist in the history, present, and future of Black art and culture.
man.
What are the names that stick out to you most?
So many, man. So many. I'm really a huge fan of Raphael Sadiq. I think he's incredible. I think he's still like a living, like he's like my Michael Jackson or my Prince. Like I absolutely like love the brother's pen. I love his just writing ability and ability to craft a song. I think he's incredible, man. I've been influenced heavily by him. Also, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? We go in all different directions as far as like the artists that have, really influenced me. As a poet, I tend to be more, I tend to have more of a hip hop cadence to a lot of my pieces. And that's because I became a poet not from just reading books and reading poetry. I became a poet from like deciphering people's lyrics and breaking those things down, And Tupac was like always super, I don't know, he was, because he was such a poet, like his, lyrics or whatever. He made me appreciate the span of where writing could go. because you can do a poem about a rainbow on one hand, and then you can do some bars about how you about to rip somebody's head off on the next, right? And still, both of them are still relevant. So I love how he kind of showed that you could express
The range.
the range of emotions like that.
Yeah.
For sure.
What about you, Ashleigh?
Man, I could speak to somebody that's really on my heart and mind right now, which is Joyner Lucas. His writing and lyrical ability just it blows me away, and his transparency, because what he chooses to speak about is so personal to him, and it's so real and it's so honest. It's those feelings that a lot of people try to escape from. That's why a lot of people don't like listening to Eminem too, because it's the same thing, and they kind of are in the same caliber, if you ask me. So I can say that right now, Joyner. There is this artist, and she's one of my favorite artists right now, and I don't know how to pronounce her name, but it's like Iyla. She got songs like Juice, Naked Girl, these songs that are really inspiring and fun. Like, she's just dope. So, what about you?
I love Cleo Soul. Cleo Soul make beautiful, healing, reflective music. Like, if you need a playlist to heal through, and it's clarifying. It's not. I really love her intention. Kendrick Lamar, another one of my favorites. He's actually the only artist of music who I've actually purchased with money in my adult life. Only Kendrick Lamar. That's it. Like, I love him. They say he got a cult following. I drank the juice. I've been years on the juice. It was rap music from my era. I was born in '94, so most rap music that I was growing up listening to was so it was a specific way. And then Kendrick mixed, I feel like, damn near all the genres of music, and told a story and had this like very intimate experience when he was writing. He was really he literally is bearing his soul with us. And I really appreciated that. But we cannot, I love Tupac. people oftentimes will say like, oh, Tupac was faking and he not really gangster and all this other stuff. But then I feel like that eliminates part of being an artist, because we multifaceted. Like being an actor to a point where you played the role so well, like, you know what I'm saying, that it damn near cost you your life for real. Like that's some Romeo and Juliet type of shit. Like people and they just overlook that. Like that's a part of the craft.
Channeling.
Like, yeah. Like he became who he thought he was. Like he built and it was more than believable. You know what I'm saying?
Solange is sick with the pen too.
Yeah, she pretty good.
And her voice, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Solange is dope.
Yeah.
Solange is dope.
Art, black art, black music, black culture. It is, I feel like the damn near epitome of expression for nearly every single, all over the world, for like the entire world, for real. Like you look at K-pop and a lot of the Koreans, and then we obviously heavily influence all art and music. So it is easy then for people to think like, oh, if I want to be of influence, then I need to act like this, or I need to behave a certain way. And that's how we get, people like, I can't even remember that girl named Iggy. Like Iggy is hell yeah.
I don't think it's all on her though. I think she is a part of a machine, and they influence the way that she expresses herself. They with certain artists, it's those games in politics they got to play once they step into that arena, and if you don't come in with a certain amount of notoriety and a cult following, like The Weeknd, he did it right. He came in, he already had a cult following from SoundCloud and YouTube, so it was only so much that those labels could do as far as controlling his narrative.
Right.
Yeah. Indeed, yeah. I think with entertainment in general, like you said machine, and I completely agree with you. I think that there's always going to be a Vanilla Ice. You know what I'm saying? Like there's always going to be
and people gonna eat it up. It's always gonna be a Elvis Presley,
literally
like,
Elvis,
and people are gonna eat it up.
Same thing, and they're going to get the they're gonna get the best of the best. They're gonna get the Timberland and the Pharrell, you know what I'm saying, to get the production or whatever. They're gonna get all the illest visuals and all of that, just like Justin Timberlake did. You know, like it's the smoke and mirrors. Like if you are given a sound and you're given lyrics and you're told how to perform it and it's impressed upon you like on some militaristic type, like when you wake up or whatever, all right, we're gonna go to rehearsal, whatever, we got dance class, we gotta do blah 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 blah. Like anybody can be created into something if that much intention is put into them.
Yes.
And that shit happens all the time because the most talented people among us are not the most successful in the entertainment industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you have some very talented people in the entertainment industry, but that's not what it takes to get there. Like it takes some. There's more.
A lot of other factors.
Those relationships, really mainly the relationships, right? Like so, if you are a part of that machine and you are deemed the next one, you are created and protected in a way that you literally can't really fail. Unless you just do some wild shit on, like, no Diddy, you know what I'm saying?
What's that other young lady's name? That she be speaking her truth and people can't stand it.
Jaguar Wright.
Not her. There was another. She's a singer. I think she was signed to T.I. or somebody. I don't know. I wish I could remember her name. But
Azealia Banks?
Yes, her. Yes.
She's wild.
Oh yeah.
She said some things that I like really agree with, and then she said some things that I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you can tell when somebody just not all the way there.
Yeah, she got the Kanye West going on.
I heard some of her music though. Some of her music is fire.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even know she had skills because she just makes herself a tabloid so often by just talking crazy, but she's actually pretty fire. Yeah.
Somebody I appreciate. Speaking of what you were speaking to, Aziz, is Tiana Taylor. You know, her voice is so
She got that thing in her throat.
Yeah.
Right here, man. Yeah, I love it. Man,
her writing though, when you're talking about poetry.
Oh, does she write her? Is she a writer?
She may not be the only writer, but she's very much so a part of the process.
Wow, that's dope.
Yeah. She ain't just like never mind, I'm not gonna say that out loud.
Okay. I cannot forget about Bob Ross. Bob Ross not black, I'm sorry. But as far as like influence,
I mean,
our culture, like watching his videos are like therapy.
Seriously.
It's like literally therapy. The sounds, the colors, all of it. It's like unlocking stuff.
Yeah. Don't purchase any of the stuff. Yeah.
Which I heard about that.
You saw it too?
Yeah.
I haven't actually purchased any of it though.
The thing is, guys, when he passed, he did not own rights to his own name. There were people who took his family to court to have rights to his name. So whenever you go to the store,
won.
Yeah, and they won. This happens all the time. That's why you gotta, when you take yourself seriously, your art seriously, your talent seriously, a big part of that, the pillars to those machines is like our legal representation. You know, so you see that Bob Ross stuff in the store, don't support that. It ain't going to his family.
Interesting. I like that you called it a machine because it is like a cookie cutter press out thing that is happening, and it's getting so much so to the point where I feel like black artists are appropriating black culture, like they pretending to be a certain thing or not acting, but literally like that's nowhere near them, like for real. And they are letting the same machine that's turning white people out like that turn them out like that. Like, and there are certain stipulations around what they can and can't say and how they dress and behave and who they hang with and this kind of thing, creating identity for them that don't have nothing to do with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, like our lowest like stereotypes sort of thing. Like you got to perpetuate some nonsense.
Not blackness, but like a caricature of blackness, like blackface, like it's the same thing.
With Sukiana. Who else we talking about?
Sexy Red.
Call it out. Call the
so
demons
painful.
out.
They're so it's so painful to watch them. It's so painful to watch them, man. Like they, you know, those sisters are like the lowest of the low because it's like they will do anything. And it's like they sit there and strategically think, what is the most embarrassing shit that I could possibly say?
Yes.
And say it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what is there a white equivalent to a Sukihana or a Sexy Red?
Honestly, I believe there is. I just can't think of their names right now, but
On
they
some
exist.
level.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe some like Real Housewives type of situation.
Ghost, yeah.
I'm trying to think, because like there's such buffoonish, like, just characters that
Just buffoon.
like, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You're placed here to embarrass us, like.
Literally, and that's what I feel like an industry plant is.
Yeah.
People keep asking, like, what's that? Why people keep saying that? Industry plant is somebody who is literally put there in place to condition our children, damn near, pretty much, because that's the mass target, to come up and behave a certain way and think certain stuff is okay. So the kids, I don't listen to Sexy Red. Who listening to it? The kids.
There's some people your age and my age listening to it too, though. Like, that's another thing, though. It is programming, right? Like, so, like, people eventually, no matter what she says, if you hear it enough, you become desensitized to it.
Yep.
Right? And they're putting this on the radio. And it's always been bad, but it's always been bad. The good thing, though, now, I think, because of the internet and because we're not getting our music solely based off of the radio or solely based off of BET or MTV.
Right, we can look stuff up and
we can be
seek
so
out
much
our
more
own.
selective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no algorithm of mine that Sexy Red is a part of.
No, sir.
You know
No, ma'am, and no, sir.
Yeah, that's what I be saying. Like, you do have the option to block. You know what I'm saying? All those other things. Because people say, oh, the internet is evil. But I'm like, y'all, that's how you just letting it use you. You're not actually using the tools that it has.
No doubt.
Yeah. But, and people like Drake. Drake is definitely, not only did he do Blackface, but he is a caricature of blackness. He doesn't have any black experience, no black culture in him, nothing at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he became like the pimp of black culture, damn near, especially black feminine culture, which is more annoying. You know what I'm saying? Because black femininity, American black femininity is like the biggest export of America. Like, we are the biggest export, period. Our sexuality, the way that we look, it's the biggest export to me in America. And it's coming back and forth in ways that people not really recognizing.
Yeah.
I always said that, like, drag culture to me was offensive because it seemed to be like
a caricature of black women.
Caricature of black women. Yeah. Like the exaggerated, you know what I'm saying? Like everything, that's what sisters
Their
do.
take on femininity, because nothing of it resembles femininity to me. It's their perspective of what that is.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. Drake, so okay, you said it, sis, when you said machine. He's a prime example of a machine that, if you put Drake's machine around anybody, they will be successful. Like 1,000%. I don't care if they can't sing, because he can't sing.
Right.
And writing wise, we don't know what he's writing or what he isn't writing.
We
like
know
this,
who Quentin Miller is, right?
We don't know what he's penning, right? So if he has ghostwriters as an MC, and we know he can't sing, I mean, he can hold a tune on some, you know what I'm saying? But you're not about to hear Drake sing the national anthem anywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can't sing. So what is his talent? He doesn't really have a talent.
He's a businessman.
I haven't even heard a Drake interview.
I was about to say being light skinned.
Have you ever seen a Drake interview?
A few. I've seen people interview about Drake. So I've seen some of his producers come on and say, you wouldn't believe it if I'm going to tell you, though, he don't be on beat. I would have to go back and punch him in the beat.
Yeah.
Like, he don't, you would think, you wouldn't
like I
believe
said, an actor. And so we realize a lot of these people, a lot of these artists are actors. And then it's like, if an actor, just like the people who telling the news, like they getting paid by the line pretty much. So it's like they can pay you to say anything, pay you to have any experience. Like I bet they be paying people to go to jail. Prison is one of the biggest businesses in the country. Like of course they paying people to make jail cool. You think they not?
1,000%. Prison industrial complex, man. Like for real. Yeah.
There's no way.
Somebody can pay you to do that.
Hell. Jail is literally hell. It's worse, almost. I think. There's no way.
Cause jail. I mean, hell. I never thought about hell being musty.
Hell is everything.
Or smelling like piss.
Yeah, I got everything putrid.
I guess you're right. Mm-hmm. But I don't even ruminate on hell too much because I think it's a condition of
your spirit,
your mind.
Yeah.
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 That's why I said jail is hell. Just like the
because it is a condition
circle,
and
right?
they be institutionalized to be hell.
Yeah.
Poverty
is hell. Anything that's unfavorable in our experience.
Absolutely. Yep, completely.
So speaking of which, when we talk about people like Drake and what artists like him are doing to society, it's very easy to see the presence. It is very easy to see the demonic presence and the open access. So that's why when Kendrick started to talk about all the things that he actually is doing in his life, like touching little kids and having weird people around him, hanging out with pedophiles, it's like, why would you support? So people are now, because of this beef, they like having a moral conundrum about they support for Drake now.
When he said the pedophile thing, that's when I was like, okay, this shit is real.
Yeah.
Now, like everything else before that was like, okay, yeah, culture vulture, yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? But when he said pedophile, I was like, whoa. Like I'm surprised that they got that cleared from their label, just given how we
blatantly
know.
Say that, and then for there to be, you realize it's not enough pushback about that. That's a very serious statement.
That's
to me.
An incredible.
There is not enough pushback about that to me. So it's like he just trying to like, shit. Like he feel exposed, and then when you look at the people, like all the people in Young Money, like all of them got weird pedophilia attachments to them.
Yep.
And so you can see, like I said,
Yep.
And they use a black face for it because that's who they selling it to, us.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't get that picture of him out of my head. Like, what the fuck is that? And any person who is truly black cannot be paid enough or convinced enough to really do nothing like that.
Nah.
No.
So who do we appreciate? I'm gonna start but who do we appreciate in our culture? I appreciate Jay-Z.
I appreciate Jay-Z as well. You can see like how he once he started to get into the business side and actually take himself seriously as an artist, he worked it really well. Yeah.
You don't agree?
I don't rock with just the whole capitalist for the sake of capitalism sort of thing. I think Jay's definitely a brilliant dude, and I admire his business acumen, but what is it all for? In my opinion, like, what is it for? Like, he's a billionaire. Every other person that's a billionaire has like employees where like your family is employed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got like people or whatever around you that from, wherever, like, that are like still connected with you. I saw an interview with Jay-Z. He said he wouldn't lend his cousin, what did he say, $4,000 or something like that? Because he gets tired of family asking, like, no, you got to get yours on your, like, yo, like, that sort of mentality. Like, can you imagine a billionaire, an Arab billionaire that didn't put their family on?
I personally agree with his stance there.
Really?
I do. And I get why.
Billion?
From an emotional standpoint, it seems a little callous.
You got $1 billion.
But when it comes to financial literacy, which is a lot of where our people struggle. Because what I took from that is I can give you $4,000 and it's going to blow in the wind. And it's not that I'm a billionaire and it's not going to hurt me. No, every cent counts. I'm putting every cent that I get. That's why I'm a billionaire. You understand? So if I'm going to lend you $4,000, I need to know exactly what I'm investing in because it's an investment. I'm not just giving you $4,000. I'm not going to give anybody just $4,000. That's not how I became a billionaire. So, we can agree to disagree on that one, but, Jay-Z, I really appreciate who he is and what he stands for and how he shared it even in his music. And how he's been authentic from
the beginning
until now.
And everything he learned, he added to
his
what he's
music,
saying, and it's reflective. As he learn and grow and become a different person, his healing process is very obvious and apparent.
And we do see it in some places because what do we think about nepotism? We see what LeBron James has just done for his son. What do we think about that?
I think it's beautiful.
Me too.
I love to see it.
Yeah.
This is the first generation of Black people in America who don't have any sort of relationship to the struggle. Like, this is kind of like the first generation of that with like the Jaden and Willows and Bronnies, and like we're just not used to seeing
no connection to it whatsoever.
Yeah, like you don't have any connection to the struggle. Like even the stuff that you hear about racism, like you go into these schools, your parents have more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Than like, so you're good or whatever. Like, so I think that we're at an interesting point where Black privilege is legitimately starting to be a thing, and I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I think I think it's beautiful.
And so we are all watching this season.
Season of what?
LeBron and Bronny playing together on the Lakers. We all watching NBA this season as a Black family.
Okay.
I read something that said the back of his jersey is gonna say Junior.
James Jr.
Yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah. But Black art and Black culture and these kind of things are what's creating the privilege. And I have a saying like, artists, as long as you can do art, you know what I'm saying? You are income. You pretty much walk in income. Like you can stimulate the economy. You can teach. You can grow stuff. Like art is so multifaceted and on so many different levels. It's like if you got some art and culture, then you can turn it into privilege. You can turn it into money. You can turn it into community. You can turn it into so many beautiful things.
So can we define privilege? What were you going to say?
No.
Can we define, because we just had a conversation about this, talking about the kids, right? So let's define privilege.
A privilege is something that is unearned, that is graciously given to you.
An unearned advantage.
Yes.
Like I'm pondering on it.
That makes sense, right?
It does make sense. What I'm speaking to is more like the respect, because somebody earned it,
right?
Even though you didn't earn it, somebody earned it, and there is a lack of respect a lot of the times in our community for the ones who had to wear it on their back. LeBron and his wife, they had to do the work. For their baby to be privileged. Yes. Jay-Z and Beyonce, these people that we're watching, they had to do the work for their children to be privileged. So when it comes to respecting that, or Jaden and Willow, it's all the same thing. Like, how do we instill respect for privilege? Yeah. That's so important to me.
The only way that I can think of is to make them earn a privilege, but then does it become not a privilege then?
So you can have, this is how I see myself doing it. Like, so say I did a will and I said, okay, this child is going to inherit X, Y, Z, but they can't inherit it until they achieve X, Y, or Z on their own. And I'll give them the tools to do that. So say you got $5 million waiting for you, but until you achieve this X, Y, and Z, you can't have access to that $5 million.
Yeah,
because then you to keep the wealth generational, this is where I'm getting at. To keep the wealth generational and to keep it going down and down and down, these things have to be understood fundamentally.
And they have to be put into actions. Yeah.
I think the answer is like instilling knowledge of self. Like these parents, these high-powered parents of these privileged, melanated young adults, you got to instill knowledge of self. Like, you have to instill a sense of culture, a sense of the village, a sense of where we came from,
responsibility
from down south to the continent. And you know, the thing about like having like unlimited resources or whatever is like it allows the opportunity for travel, right? And it allows the opportunity for, you know, exposure to things that,
so
you know,
different kind of cultures and how people live and different levels of and that's important.
Culture is the answer to everything. Like when you have culture, you don't wild out really like that. Even like these like Saudi billionaires and that sort of thing, right? Like there's a certain code that they stick to that, you know, they might be vile as hell or whatever as far as other people are concerned, but they stick to a code that is representative of their culture.
Family culture.
Their family culture. That's what we're missing.
Because too many people, too many leaders are pretending to be of the culture or culture. They not, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the culture that we have to hang on to is, for the masses, I'm saying, is manufactured by the enemy.
Like a crab's natural habitat is not
it's
a
not
bucket.
a bucket.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
No, it's important too.
Crabs ain't taking each other out in their natural habitat.
No, they not.
They're chilling.
But art and having a vision and gaining culture and perspective and, you know, all of those things are how these babies are, how we are producing privilege for ourselves. It really is majority through art, like majority. So it is our biggest, I feel like, outlet, biggest way to make an impact, our biggest, you know, tool that we really have. Of course,
because what does it mean to be an artist? I always say that to me, artist is defined by vulnerability being your lifestyle. You know, you putting yourself out there, you expressing yourself, exposing yourself. I think that's the wealthiest thing you can do.
It's
sharing
like
your soul with the world.
Privilege. The art itself is a privilege to have the ability to perform and be consistent and you know what I'm saying, do what you're supposed to be doing.
Art is a privilege.
Yeah, even athleticism is an art. Yeah. You know, people don't understand. So when people say shit like, we don't need no more football players, I'm like, you were ignoramus. Because do you understand what it takes to be an athlete? To be a professional athlete, the dedication, the discipline, the hours, the work, the wear and tear on your body.
Okay, so devil's advocate a little bit. What if I said that sports in general are a huge distraction and that man and woman's purpose is greater than to be modern day gladiators and using their bodies for things that really in the scheme of life don't matter?
Who are we to value other people's gifts?
But it's athletic ability can be used for a bunch of different things, right? We are an oppressed people, as like a global melanated family. It's always funny to me when you watch like the Olympics, or you really see it. You see it in the Olympics, but you see it in like soccer too. Like it'll be like these like teams or whatever, like France or like Belgium, or you know what I'm saying, these different places, and it's all Africans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like go and get them from other. Yeah, that's a part of the export. Like that's a part of the what I was talking about.
Yeah, it drains the drains the talent, and it takes the focus off of who really is doing the damn thing. So like even in the Olympics or whatever, like if the Olympics were what they originally were, and things were divided by the races, Black people would dominate because we dominate everything. But now we're a part of the United States, we're a part of France, we're a part of Germany, we're a part of, so it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? It's just bragging rights for the spot, but it's not really what it actually is. So I say that to say, as far as like athletics and those sorts of things are concerned, like, you know, football or whatever, running track, basketball, those are our greatest soldiers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like those
that's
are.
What I was thinking. But that, to me, having the outlet of athleticism to produce that and for you to know you're capable of that is the art. You know what I'm saying? Because I know they conditioning for sports, but it might as well be conditioning for combat. And I guarantee you that they will win more combats than they will lose, especially if it's all on their body.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But they need to also know, like, I don't know, just in the scheme of things, I just feel like our best and brightest are locked up or distracted through being entertainers.
I agree with the locked up thing, actually, wholeheartedly.
You know what I'm
I feel like that's another place where our strongest soldiers really are.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And some of our best and brightest minds. But when we understand
100%.
how cells work, like there's a reason why, you know what I'm saying, these words are the same. When you understand how cells work, then that person would be then the nucleus of that cell. And in that space, it could go either way. You know what I'm saying? But it actually, like all this stuff can actually produce positive things if it is surrounded with art and culture and community. Yes, it's just we gotta. You right about them being distracted to a certain point, but it's like it only lasts so long if we are all conscious of that and we can turn what they know, just like the conditioning for school, the bell going off every hour. Like I use that conditioning to do some pretty powerful stuff in my life, so it's all not negative, even though it might have negative intentions. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? Because we bigger than the you know what I'm saying, the intention of the.
I don't know if I agree with it being a distraction, because when you look at LeBron or Kyrie or these different artists and athletes who do speak up for us verbally, because it's not like we have a active black militia right now. It's not even that we have a unified front.
Right.
Or back
right.
To be fighting for physically. So I don't think that they're distracted. I think that they're placing their energy in a good space.
Right.
I get it. It's entertainment, and we should be able to rely on each other that way. But when we talk about even the premise of this episode, so many of us are black, but not black, or don't really share unified values enough to fight for and with each other.
Yeah.
We end up fighting each other.
For the most part.
Every time.
Yeah. But that's a part of the machine though. There's, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason behind that. That's not natural. It's not natural for us to behave that way. And we put in unnatural environments like the bucket, and you know what I'm saying? Unnatural environments like Hollywood. And then those environments produce things as well.
Absolutely. I will say though, in Sudan, just in Sudan alone, there are over 144 different language groupings. Each of the different languages represents a tribe, right? An indigenous tribe to Sudan. That's just in Sudan. We are the most diverse people on the planet by far. A lot of us not being able to get along is we're in a place that's not necessarily native and
natural. It's unnatural.
It's not built for us to thrive. Like that's very real, but also we're different as hell. Even though we have melanin and all of this other thing, we're different, right? And we came from different places. Like we didn't necessarily it's not like they just swooped a bunch of Negroes up, you know what I'm saying? That just were thinking alike and like deep shit. We had issues in Africa, you know what I'm saying? Like before, for this to even happen, we obviously had issues in Africa, right? So we're not a monolith,
right?
And a lot of us just not getting along and not being able to move in unison is because we're diverse as hell. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't necessarily make us wrong, but for us to progress, we have to figure out how to be a united front.
So is black skin or is black culture? Because to me, when I say black, I'm speaking to those who are black cultured, not black skinned.
Right. Same. Like black for me is less, because it's way too many people that have black skin and white intention.
Well, not even the white intentions part. They just have their own culture. Like I dated a Jamaican, and they were extremely offended when I said, "Oh, you're not." I'm not saying this to be exclusatory. I was just saying I understood based on our interactions that they were not black cultured, and so because they had black skin, they were offended when I was like, oh, you're not Black. And then I'm like, well, you got to understand, you're Jamaican. You have a
nation,
full,
a
deep culture.
What was the context?
So many things. Like, how we, everything. I can't even lie to you. And I was like, there's no need to be offended because, like you said, we're not a monolith. We're so many. It's the diaspora and Black culture is not necessarily synonymous. So you have all of these different people with Black skin who may fall under Black diaspora, but Black culture is very unique to a certain group of people.
And I feel like more specific to a group of people without a nation because we have to build our own culture. So most people who are Black skinned but not Black they know, like she said, they Jamaican.
Or
they come from
Sudanese,
South Africa. Or they yes.
They Virgin
so
Islands.
Here our culture is so important, which is why we have to do more to protect it. All that who getting in the cookout shit is really burning us out.
That's why I keep getting lost.
Yeah,
you were talking
the
about.
distraction.
It keeps getting lost because it's already lost.
Yeah.
Okay, you told the brother, the Jamaican brother, that he wasn't Black cultured. And this is I know this is such a rabbit hole, so I don't even want to.
Oh God, yes.
But like what is Black culture? I hate to even ask it.
No,
what is Black culture?
We can start the conversation
in that context. Like,
we definitely not gonna end it today, but
I feel you.
It's this. I think we're on a roll here because once we are collectively able to define what it is. Because everybody outside of us can look at us and know what it is, and they care. How do you say that word again?
Caricature.
They do that.
Yeah, they create a caricature.
Because it's so palpable. However, we don't have a unified. We don't have a flag. All of us who are lost and don't know where we come from. We told we came from Africa on a boat and all this other stuff, and we just lost in America. We are the ones
prisoners of war
who create Black culture. We are Black culture. The ones who can't. Go ahead.
Is Black culture a good thing?
Yes. Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's also not, right? Like,
no, the caricature of Black culture is not.
But what about the things that are real? Like the lack of community, right?
That's a caricature because it was produced. That was purposely done to us. That's not a behavior that we just naturally have.
I agree.
Yes.
But it is a reality, right? Like there are certain realities within Black culture that are super counterproductive. That like I wish that like we would take pages out from, our brothers and sisters in Africa and the Caribbean or whatever to have certain things together that we simply don't, because America just distracts you so much with like,
oh, I gotta pay rent, or I gotta I gotta eat, like food don't grow on trees. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
All of that.
That's a lot going on.
And it makes it difficult to it just makes it difficult to maneuver in certain ways. So I think that I wish that Black culture is a beautiful thing, but it's the culture of not having a culture. Mm-hmm. We don't know the gods that our ancestors prayed to. Like, we don't speak the language that our ancestors spoke. We don't eat the food that our ancestors ate, right? Like, we are an incredibly broken people. That's why most of us are holding on to the religion that we've been given still. Because
I wouldn't say we broken because we still like here.
Oh yeah, you could be broken and present. Oh yeah, be present in a motherfucker.
So, what I would say in response to that is that as humans, we are cultured in so many different ways. So me and you share Black culture, but you may be cultured in other ways that I'm not. And I may be cultured in other ways that you're not. What we share is Black culture, and what we share is American culture. So I think that a lot of what you're attributing to our Blackness is not our Blackness. Ours, it's American capitalism. It's American thought processes. It's American ways of going about life that are keeping us in this cyclical pattern. Right. It's not our Black culture.
Right. It's a caricature.
Can you separate that from Black culture then? Because where does Black culture derive from? If we don't have any tangible memories of Africa, right? Because most of us have never been there. Where does our culture come from?
Rebellion is it's like because of what we've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how we dress. I mean, think about, we had a guest a couple weeks ago, and he's an older guy, 82 years old, been doing women's hair, natural hair for 30 plus years. We talked about, he lived through the stuff that we read in textbooks. So we talked about the afro, locks, these things that we use to express our rebellion. Even the way we dress, urban culture, hip hop culture, like these are the things that attribute to Blackness. It's the rebellion against everything that's come against us. Now, we're also American culture though. So with that being said, we also all have that what is it, like one man from self type of thing,
individualistic attitude, and so, that is literally an American.
That's what perpetuates what you're talking about.
Yes,
that's not Black culture.
But we different. We see ourselves as well. You was describing it about Jay-Z, like you feel like he hoarding everything for himself and everything, but it's pretty much the same thing like that. I said in a poem, I said we sketch ourselves out of our own art so eloquently because that is our survival mode, and survival is also, I feel like, Black culture. Like survival, period.
Survival and rebellion.
Survival, rebellion. Like that's Black culture, because that's what I mean when I say we not broken because we still here. Like I definitely come from a family and a culture, personally, that would be considered broken. But when I talk to my father and I really get to know, that's not we broken. That's the system is broken, sort of thing, because the person is still in there. Like, you know what I'm saying? The person who knows better, the person who, has a mission and a vision and this kind of thing is still present.
And I can play advocate here, because as much as American culture has inflicted pain, it also paves a way for us to be extremely successful and wealthy. And our financial literacy and consciousness, or lack thereof, is a reflection of how far we can get, and that's American culture that's conjoined with our Blackness. So it's just a matter of awareness of who we are, because so many people come over here because they want to experience American culture. Jamaicans come over here by the herds. Africans are coming over here because they want the experience that they feel like we've been birthed into and we don't take advantage of.
So is that an American privilege?
There's a difference between coming somewhere to take advantage of the privilege of the place versus being brought to the place and having that privilege, that privilege being built off your back. That's the difference between like Africans of the diaspora and foundational Black Americans. Like that, so much miscommunication and this misunderstanding comes from them looking at our collective condition and still thinking that this is the land of the free and the you can come live the American dream, white picket fence and whatever. Like, they don't understand why we're suffering in the context of the American dream.
Absolutely. And this ties in, this answers your question about my experience with the Jamaicans.
That answers the question perfectly.
Because they did not understand. Oh, you were born here and you still ain't figured this out, and then the Africans look at me like that. They like, girl, like, you grew up here. We had to come from getting our water and walking 3 miles to get it and putting it on our head, and you sitting over here acting like you can't figure. You grew up easy. That's how they look at us. That's how they see us. And that's what I mean about they're not Black culture. They wouldn't get it.
But that's what I mean when I say you can't separate American culture from Black culture. Like, the struggle, Black culture is built on an extremely dysfunctional struggle of us being here since we got here. So like, it has so many negative aspects. It has beautiful aspects, but like I'm envious of my African brothers and sisters or my Caribbean brothers and sisters who just have that detachment from this version of it.
Mm-hmm. I would say they don't have an identity crisis.
Some of them do, though, because some of them do. I mean, a lot of them do. Shit.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say a part of the conditioning of Black Americans is for, like, mostly the identity crisis of the contradiction of Black and American and how we are active in both roles simultaneously. It's literally breeding bipolar disorder.
Yeah, definitely.
Like literally. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't know my great grandma's recipe for any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, what my people used to sound like and how they used to dance, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing with my body for real. You know what I'm saying? That's perpetuated. And then I turn on the TV and Cardi B's fake ass is jiggling everywhere. And so for me, a child that don't have, my family grew up dancing, you know what I'm saying? But it was still the same way. Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. The caricature of Blackness is always over sexualized. It's always over violence. It's always, you know what I'm saying? That's the Black face of it. And it might be a Black person up there rapping about killing everybody and their mama, but that's not a Black agenda. That's not our natural state of being. No, that's yes.
Nah, for sure, sure. I think we put too much emphasis on our entertainers too, because that's not our leadership. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like entertainers throughout the world are not seen as leadership in any community outside of the Black community
or American community.
I don't even think that who in America is seen as I guess you got
Trump.
Okay.
But as a poet, are you not an entertainer?
Like what?
As poets, I'm asking. Shit. As a poet, are you not an entertainer?
Yes, but I'm not it's different.
How?
It's different because I'm not a celebrity. So I don't have if somehow my platform blew me up to the point of celebrity, then I would be faced with some interesting
responsibility.
Yeah.
I would be.
But if I was, with the following that I do have or whatever, I don't know. Most of them know how I feel.
All art has the power to influence. So you mm-hmm. While you might say, "Oh, I'm not a celebrity," in the Detroit poetry and art community, you are a leader mm-hmm. because you are a profound artist, mm-hmm. and because you pretty much live your brand.
For sure.
So you know what I'm saying? As artists, we kind of are,
leaders.
Mm-hmm. Leaders, yeah.
We are. As poets, it makes a lot more sense to follow a poet,
right?
Than Cardi B. You know
right.
what I'm saying? Or at least somebody that at least follow somebody that's writing their own lyrics. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I feel like entertainment is important, and I am an entertainer, but I'm an organizer as well. And you're an organizer, right? I'm sure you're an organizer. This sitting here talking to you, whatever, you're super succinct and well thought out.
Thank you.
No, for sure. We all do other things. We just so happen to write as well, right? And we put that into our, we put the things that we feel into our work. But the actual work, there's other work that gets done, right? That's completely outside of the art that separates us from being pop artists and having no responsibility mm-hmm. to what we actually
because we're not necessarily performing artists. There is a huge difference between performing artists and artists.
Yeah.
And people really don't grasp that. But I'm if you don't have an intimate relationship with your art, you simply are doing it for oohs and ahs, you are a performance artist. Mm-hmm. If you don't write about your personal life, performance artist. If you are, if you are writing about what you think the crowd will like, or if you letting a label head or whatever tell you what to write, not an artist.
Yep.
You're not an artist. You're a performer or a sex worker, depending on, depending on what level you on.
Seriously. Yeah. If you have a machine that's backing you, that like you can't say certain things and like that sort of thing, like you're not an artist.
And that's why Kendrick is so profound, and also La Russell. You know who La Russell is? La Russell.
Yeah, he's a rapper. Then he has his own label. Young guy.
Is he out in L.A.?
Yes.
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 I know what you're talking about.
He's doing amazing things, like you said. Just be consistent, and if you have, or no, it was you that was saying that earlier, Ashleigh, when you was talking about coming to the table with a cult following, with what I'm saying, with the bricks already laid out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, now? Most people go to those tables, and this is another way that is produced for the masses. A lot of people go to those tables with nothing, and so they looking for this person to give them everything. And so of course they gonna do whatever that person say, because they literally would not be provided for without that person or that machinery. Yes, a slave, pretty much. Yeah. But art is the same thing that they use. I feel like to our demise is literally the same thing that will protect us and promote us and put us where we are and need to be. Just as many artists out there like Drake or that are in Blackface is just as many artists that are producing real art and real music.
Yeah.
And they just not mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the thing too, though. Like as an artist, you don't want being able to play the guitar well, or being able to like write a great poem, or being able to recite a monologue, does not mean that you're a good businessman or woman, right? Like you can still be horrible at business, and that's the case with a lot of like super right brain like artists. The left brain shit is like it completely eludes us. So that's where the machine comes in, right? And that's where like you first as an artist craft yourself to be picked up by one of these machines to begin with, or whatever. Like if you want to go mainstream, like that has to be the thought process. What does the machine want to hear? Like what do the people want? There are two types of pop music. The worst type of pop music, the bad pop music, is the music that people set out to create for the masses. Like that, that ready? Are you ready for this? That type of shit. That's the worst type of pop music. The Katy Perry's and the Taylor Swift's, even though I guess people like really fuck with Taylor Swift, but
Taylor Swift is an industry plant for sure.
I was about to say I'll die on this hill. Like that's just a
definitely
regular ass
with
white
rich
girl.
Parents who are like just doing it up for her.
Yes, like she's
They built a machine specifically around their baby.
Olivia Rodrigo is?
Yes.
That girl. Man, I just had to bring her up because she's on the flip side one of the best kind of pop artists.
Yeah.
Very honest.
Yeah.
Young lady.
Yeah, so that's the bad pop music I was in. But the good pop music is the music where somebody like just sets out and like does their thing, and it's so good that everybody like fucks with it. So like Genuine Pony, right? Like that sounded like nothing. They weren't trying to craft a sound to get a bunch of people to like it. They just made some funky ass shit, and a bunch of people liked it. Yes. Exactly. Mm-hmm. That's the pop music that I like. That I respect. That machine shit is just is terrible. It's dumbing us down. And it's the Sexy Red and Suki Hana shit. Like you can now that we're older, you can see it. But the babies, they don't know.
That's what I was saying earlier. You like, oh, grown people listen to it too. Yes, but we know what we listening to. We able to not let that stuff penetrate us. But kids don't know no better.
They out here, man.
Yeah.
The babies
they
are
are
out
hiring them to perform at these high schools.
Yeah.
Sexy Red.
What's her name? Erica Banks.
I am pulling my child immediately if they book Sexy Red to like get man, come on, man.
So I think some parents did go against that.
That school
they
should be
shut
down.
They canceled it, and then she ended up partying with them in the damn parking lot.
Fire everybody. Fire the whole staff. Fire everybody.
Whose idea was this?
We need a whole new administration.
Well, in conclusion, Black art and culture is a huge force, not just to be reckoned with, but to be recognized. There needs to be more layers of protection around who we give license to speak on what Black art and culture is.
Shout out to Issa Rae.
Shout out to Issa Rae. Mm-hmm. Yes, and Jordan Peele. Mm-hmm. But yes,
Love Issa.
Yeah, we definitely should be honoring and protecting ourselves as individuals when we go and we are confronted with the machine of mass production of art. My name is Koffee Dark N Sweet, your humble host. You can find me on Instagram at KOFFEE_Dark and Sweet. And you can also find me under Midnight Coffee Pod. And Ashley?
I don't know why I always get nervous when it's at the end. It's weird. So speaking of machines, y'all can find my Instagram. It's The Component ENT.
Nice.
Again, my name is Ashleigh Jones. I'm chilling, y'all. Have a good night.
Yeah, Azizi Jasper, AZIZIHASANIJASPER on all social media. Connect with me. Also, COINTELPROS, BarnesandNoble.com.
Great book.
Grab my book, man. It's fire. Got something else cooking on the stove as well. So we'll talk about that later.
Nice.
That was cool.
Thank you very much.